We've got this 350 with the 346 that I tried to convert over to 3/8 with a rim sprocket. This is your factory 350 with that cut out for the gear drive. Then you have this aftermarket rim that's advertised for a 350 conversion. You can't just order a 346 clutch drum because the crankshaft diameter is different. So I wanted to go over how these two fit and how I kind of converted it and why I might not even be sticking with the conversion and might just suck it up and stick with this. So I'm going to install the factory one right now and show how that fits. Hopefully you guys can see this. So this is installed. What I wanted to show is how this kind of spins on there and how it's kind of nice and tight like a factory would be. Engages with the gear drive just fine. So now I'm going to show what the aftermarket rim drive kind of feels like. We have this. That's pretty nice and tight. So here we go. We're going to pull this one off and put this one on. This is the only aftermarket drum offered for a 350 with a rim drive. This is your 3/8 7-spoke eBay. First glance seems just fine. Just gonna give it a quick snug. Alright. So this is the issue I'm having, is the inside diameter on the aftermarket one is approximately 50 thousandths larger than the factory. So it wobbles kind of around like that. And what will happen is if the saw is idling and you try and engage a chain brake, the saw dies. It only does that with this clutch drum. So this really doesn't fit quite well. I measured the inside diameter of this clutch drum and the factory clutch drum. They're identical. They're within a thousandth of each other. I measured the inside diameter of where it goes over the crank bearing, or the clutch drum bearing, and this is about 50 thousandths larger. So I'm going to zip both this back off and we're going to measure it. That is a factory needle bearing. Might have another needle bearing laying around actually. Well, I guess this is the aftermarket ones right here. That's for 346. Too big. This one doesn't fit at all. Alright, we got a couple sprockets here. So here is your aftermarket versus your factory. I opted to run this one. Let's actually see if this fits any better. It's actually a little looser. Not sure why it'd be like that. That factory bearing fits nice and snug. This aftermarket one, sloppy. Maybe it likes the sloppy clutch drum too. Well, just sloppy all around. It's actually even worse. It's pretty bad. So I think I'm just gonna have to stick with 325 factory drum on this thing, unfortunately. Oh yeah, that's way tighter. That's got like no movement side to side at all. It's kind of unfortunate because I've got this brand new 3/8 bar and chain. I was so convinced I was going to convert it over to 3/8 and run this nice 18-inch Sugi lightweight bar on this 346 conversion, and I don't think I'm going to be able to run this. I think I'm going to have to stick with the 325, which I've got that for. I mean, I got a new chain for it, but I really wanted to run that. I just don't think it's going to happen. Kind of a bummer. I've looked around, I've ordered multiple different aftermarket hubs, and these are the only two I can find with the rim sprocket conversion. So if anybody else has a link they can drop me, please leave it in the comments below to help me get the 3/8 converted over. I mean, I got plenty of rim sprockets, I got plenty of clutch drums, but these are the aftermarket ones, and they just really don't fit right. Before I wrap up this video, I'm going to throw the digital caliper on it. Here we go. So here's your factory. I'll try to set you up a little better here. So we got 62.5 for the factory. And then here we've got 6310. So about 60 thousandths difference. These are both like that. I ordered two different ones. Both of them exactly the same. So there's a 60 thousandths discrepancy between the factory drum and these. So these are basically unusable to me, unfortunately. So that's where I'm at with this. The saw runs great. It's got great power. It idles great. It sounds great. I just need to figure all this out. And as of right now, I'm probably just going to stick with this. The factory drum, factory clutch with a 325 chain on this Husqvarna 346. So barred this up. I'm just going to show you what happens when you try to engage the chain brake. Since there's so much play on this clutch drum that at idle it's grabbing it and making the chain spin, and if you try to hit the chain brake, it just automatically stalls the saw. There's really not a whole lot you can do. It's kind of unfortunate too, because 3/8, as we know, is a little bit beefier of a chain, and that's what I wanted to run. So here's a 325 for comparison. There you go. That's sort of why I wanted to run 3/8. I wanted the slightly larger setup for this 346. The setup right here is 325. Both are 18-inch, but it seems like the Sugi is actually a little bit longer, even though they are both 18-inch bars. You get a replaceable tip on this one too. Overall, that's what I wanted to run. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, unless you just didn't care about the chain moving the whole time. But yeah, let me get this on here. So it wasn't doing it as bad that time, but you can see it just spins the chain bad at idle. And if I install the stock clutch drum, it doesn't do that. It actually, the chain stops, doesn't spin at idle. So I just don't know how comfortable I'd feel out in the woods just having the chain spinning like that. So I'm going to put on the factory clutch drum with that